Okay, I come from programming background, and because I love to make games, I pretty soon came to the producer role, mostly for the love of making games, but I did not have experience in finishing games with the team, and that alone gave a lot of frustrations during my first projects. So now I'm here to hopefully shine some light on that, because I saw it as a programmer how difficult it is for the team to be a member of the team that crunches, and how difficult it is for a producer to be in the role of someone who needs to manage crunch with the team. And as a senior producer, I handled crunch and project over multiple teams. So, as I said, we'll talk about crunch. Crunch is unfortunately unavoidable part of our industry. But some crunch can be good, but if you're in a project that crunches from start to the beginning, then you have several options. If you're in a position where you can change the scope of the project, you need to do that. You need to hire new people or anything just to avoid the crunch. But if you're in a position that you are not able to make those kind of high-level decisions regarding your project, I have only one advice for you: quit that job, because crunch will destroy you, will destroy your health, your relationships, and it's not something that you wish to do for a long time, no matter how much you love games. But for some time, when milestone is about to approach, it's okay. It gets manageable. Why do we crunch? The most basic reason for the crunch is bad management decisions, and I'll skip those. But one thing that I see constantly from time to time is that you kind of ease into the crunch, because game development as such is a series of decisions that you make constantly during the project. So from the day one, you want to make the best game ever, right? And it's early in the project, and you are maybe adding some new feature, there is time to fix something, and after a month or so in the project, you are maybe a day or two off, no big deal. But those decisions adds up over time, and one day you'll see all your Excel table turn from green to red, and it's traffic jam straight up ahead. So, as it is written here in its great summary, road to hell is paved with good intentions. So I make several rules that helped me during those troubled times. Rules are basically about how to handle yourself, how to handle your team, and how to handle your project. So without further ado, rule number 1: keep calm and cry alone. When crunching, of course, tensions are running high with everyone involved. You will be very nervous because it will look to you that things take more time that's needed. Team will be nervous because they maybe don't know why are they need to crunch, or why are they in a situation like that, in this situation, and everybody will be on the edge. So the most basic thing is for me to give some personal space for me and for teams. So the thing that worked for me is I take short breaks from time to time, just 5-minute breaks where I can basically cry, but not, not really cry. Ali, play your game, meditate, do something for 5 minutes and come back to be the best version of yourself. So do not stand over your teammates' heads. Do not constantly ask that question, is it over? Is it over? Is it over? Because we all do that, and that does not brings anything to the table. Do not fall for small provocations, and unfortunately those will happen because, as I said, people are not in best mood in the third week of non-stop working. And so never ever show your team that you are not in your best mood, or that ever be best. Second, align the vision. You as a producer had unique role, unique perspective of the project. You, on a high level, your teammates not so much. So you need to go way out to explain why they are doing this. Every task need to be explained, and you need to hold no stops here. So of course most of us do daily meetings with a team, but here when crunch is when you're here, those daily meetings, those 5 minutes is more important than ever. So do daily meeting, do give them a clear tasks for that day, so everybody knows where they are, what needs to be done, and be ready to be there for everyone. So to explain every little detail for your team, so they can know where they are standing. Okay, do not wear headphones. Headphones are the wall that you build between yourself and your team. This could also interpret as be available. So, because everyone has a tendency to zone out, especially if you are, as a producer, doing a parallel job with maybe you are a programmer or artist. You have a tendency to zone out on your work, but you need to be there, available for your team. So, because every question not asked is a question that should have been answered. So, be available, but don't be intrusive. Because, as we saw in rule number 1, standing over anyone's head won't get you far. Rule number 4, don't be a perfectionist. We all love our games. We all love to make the best game ever. We want that. But when it hit the fan, it's not the greatest time to do that. You need to make the balanced choices. What must be in the game, or where you can, let's not say cut corners, but have small imperfections that on overall scope of the project won't have that much influence, but in the moment when you are doing the game could save you some time. So I have there is a running joke in Madhead Games about a lot of us are Overwatch players, and we are fairly hardcore about it. So Blizzard had some Christmas special or some event like that when they built that landing page for their homepage was all the heroes in their action poses, so they were looking epic. and shit. But one of the guys, he has his elbow in a totally unnatural pose, and it's obvious error, but someone from the studio commented, yeah, Blizzard, they noticed that, but somebody was, we are going with that. So that standing with us for a long time, and for me it's a great thing to truly understand and to truly balance that feeling, we are going with that, it won't hurt. So those were my four rules. As you can see, those are fairly common sense and should be applied from in everyday communication with your team, in everyday working with your team, but especially during troubled times, you should not diverge from that. So, but whatever happens, you need to know that it will be over. So, thank you.
The headphones rule, does it apply only to producers or to the entire team? What do you think about that?
Mostly for producers and anyone that has must have a working relationship with other team members. For programmers or artists, when they're very helpful, it's okay. They need to focus and that's. But as a producer, you need to be there in every second.
Hey, so you said at the beginning, like, crunch is unavoidable in our industry. But what do you think about the trend that's happening right now? Like, with the unionizing and everybody's talking about making the workers' unions just to avoid that. Do you think that there is a solution on a global scale that can make crunches not necessary anymore?
Honestly, I do not think that it will ever go away. What, in my opinion, unions and things like that can improve is working condition during crunch. So maybe it must be paid like overtime or things like that. But in my opinion, that's it will always be there.
What do you do to motivate people? Because you said that you don't want to bother people, but what's your idea behind that? And the second one is, do you need team member for Overwatch?
To motivate people, for me, most importantly, is rule number 2, aligning the vision. So I noticed that most of frustrations is coming from the unknowing what to do, when to do, and you need to explain them very clearly what are the expectations from them. And also other thing is giving project ownership or feature ownership to team members that want it. So giving them freedom to do their thing in the school, but of course that will fit in the project. You cannot allow everybody to do what they want. But project ownership and vision alignment are, for me, most important things. And second, I'll talk with the guys. I think there will be.
So you said that, the first rule, cry alone. So if you're feeling, frustrated or something, go, chill out, have a break, and then come back. But a team usually sort of looks up to the producer, right, and sees how they're feeling. So do you think maybe never showing that frustration and that weakness can sort of set an, let's say, unrealistic standard? Because then you're like this god who, never gets frustrated no matter how bad it gets. So what do you think about that? Should it be showing a little bit of it?
Yeah, of course, we are all humans here. But one thing that I didn't mention is because you are taking breaks and team looks up to you, you must allow for your team to take those breaks also. You cannot have double standards. I did make those mistakes early in my career where I was practically, when someone is going to the lunch, I was, come on, do you really need to lunch? That is bad, but you need to allow team. But to answer your question, simply human relationships, okay, everybody will understand that you are frustrated or nervous anyway, but this is more thing that you cannot argue with someone or tell them something that maybe will step over the line or
And one more, do you have any tips for teams who don't work in the same space? So either home-based or international, outsourced and similar. How do you keep such a team together?
Me personally, I had small experience with teams that are not in the studio. I did some work with outsourcers, but for them, what I think is most important that I always give them deadlines that are several days earlier than actual deadline, because anything that can go wrong will probably go wrong.
Thank you. Are there any more questions? Okay, thank you very much. Please, a big round of applause for Goran.